Good morning, family. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. Happy Tuesday. I'm going to take us straight to 2 Kings chapter 7 and verse 4 of the Bible. It says this: if we say, let us enter the city, the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. And if we sit here, we die also. So now come, let us go over to the camp of the Syrians. If they spare our lives, we shall live, and if they kill us, we shall but die. The word of the Lord. This is one thing I want you to hear. No change, no fruit. No change, no fruit. This is a story about Old Testament times during the time of Elisha, the prophet. The writer of 2 Kings brings to us this episode about these 4 men who were lepers, which would have meant that they were castigated from society and would have lived among themselves and probably had to beg for food. And here they are in the midst of a famine. And they were kind of in this catch-22 situation. All of a sudden, there's a war going on, so there's really nowhere safe to be. The famine was in the city, so they would die there, but the Syrians were on the other side, and they would get killed by the Syrians. And so they make this wonderful resolution when they say, let us just go over to the camp of the Syrians, because if we go to the city, we'll die there because there's no food, but maybe the Syrians have a shot and give us some food and we don't die. Now, the Bible tells a story about later how as they marched towards the camp of the Syrians, God magnified the sound of their steps, where the Syrians thought it was an army coming against them and they fled out of there. But it ends up showing, I think, what happens and how God responds to your faith to do something. The idea is this: if they stayed still, they knew that they would die. If they did nothing, they knew that they would not do anything. And that's where I want to encourage you today. You've been faced with a situation that feels like a catch-22. And to be sure, there are those moments where God says, you know what, be faithful, do what God calls you to do. But there's some of those things where God may be just trying to challenge you to consider changing some things. For some of us, marriage rhythms may need to change. Parenting rhythms may need to change. How we talk rhythms may need to change. Work rhythms may need to change, because you might be like these lepers who understood that if I don't do something, I'm not going to get to where I am supposed to be. Is God dealing with you about changing? Is God dealing with you about altering some things, nuancing some things so that you can navigate your way forward to what He's calling you to do? Don't be scared. There's a blessing on the other side of your faith, because at the end of the day, no change, no fruit. And that's hope for today. I'll see you next time.